It all started on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon. I was coming home from work, tired but relieved that the long day was finally over. As I pulled into my driveway, I noticed something odd. My front porch was completely empty. I was expecting an important package that day, one that required a signature. I checked the tracking and it showed delivered. But there was nothing there. I walked around my yard, checked behind the bushes, and then I saw it, sitting right in front of my neighbor's house. HOA Karen's house. The package was large, clearly labeled with my name and address in bold letters, yet somehow it had migrated next door. At first I figured it was an honest mistake. Maybe the delivery driver had dropped it off at the wrong house. I knocked on Karen's door, expecting to clear things up quickly. She opened it with her usual scowl, clutching her phone in one hand and glaring at me like I was an intruder. "Yes," she snapped. I gestured toward my box on her porch. "Hey, sorry to bother you, but that's actually my package. The driver must have." Before I could even finish, she cut me off. "No, that's not yours," she said sharply. "It was left here, so it belongs to me now." I blinked, thinking she must be joking. "You can't be serious," I said, half laughing. "It literally has my name on it." She folded her arms. "You shouldn't have packages delivered here if you can't manage your address properly. It's mine now." My patience snapped a little. "Look, Karen, I don't want to cause problems, but that's my property. Please hand it over before I have to call someone." Her face twisted in outrage. "Don't you threaten me. I'll call the police first." I sighed, trying to stay calm. "Call whoever you want, I'll just take it and go." I stepped forward, picked up my box, and turned to leave. That's when she screamed, "Thief! Stop him!" She actually ran after me, waving her phone like a siren. I thought she was bluffing, but 10 minutes later, as I was inside opening my mail, red and blue lights flashed outside my house. 2 officers walked up to my porch. One of them said, "Sir, we got a call that you stole property from your neighbor." I almost laughed. "You mean my own package?" I handed them the box, showing the label with my name and address printed in bold letters. The younger officer took one look and shook his head. "Yeah, that's definitely yours," he said. The other officer sighed and radioed back, "False alarm." Karen came stomping over, red-faced and shouting. "He stole from me. That package was on my property." The officer turned to her and said, "Ma'am, this clearly belongs to him. Please stop calling 911 over civil disputes." Karen gasped, offended. "Civil dispute? This is theft. He's been violating HOA rules for months. You people don't do your job." She went on about my lawn being too natural, my truck too loud, and how I park like a hillbilly. The officers exchanged glances and then walked back to their patrol car, probably trying not to laugh. They gave me a small nod before leaving. I thought it was finally over, but oh no, not with Karen. The next day, I got a letter from the HOA saying I was being fined $500 for theft of neighbor property and disruptive conduct. I couldn't believe it. Karen had actually reported me to the HOA and twisted the story so much that it sounded like I broke into her porch. I knew then that I had to fight back, but not in anger, with proof. I went back through my home security footage. Sure enough, the delivery driver clearly dropped the package at my door. Then, a few minutes later, Karen casually strolled over, looked around, and picked it up like it was a freebie. She didn't even look guilty. She just smiled and walked away. I saved the clip, uploaded it to a USB drive, and sent it directly to the HOA with a short note. "You might want to see this before deciding who to fine." A week later, I got another notice, but this time it wasn't a fine. It was an apology. The HOA president wrote, "We reviewed your evidence and discovered the misunderstanding. The previous citation has been voided." They didn't mention Karen by name, but I could tell they were embarrassed. Apparently, Karen had even demanded that the HOA reassign my package to her because it looked like a delivery meant for the community office. Yeah, sure. But I wasn't done yet. I still wanted to know why she wanted that box so badly, so I decided to test something. I ordered another package, just an empty box with a cheap tracker inside, and left it on my porch while I watched from inside my car down the street. Sure enough, less than an hour later, Karen walked over, looked around, and took it. My phone buzzed with the tracker alert as she went back into her house. This time I didn't call the cops. I called the postal inspector instead, because theft of mail and packages, that's a federal offense. They sent someone out the next morning to follow up. I stood at my window sipping coffee as I watched Karen's face when the uniformed inspector knocked on her door. She looked terrified. They talked for several minutes and then she pointed toward my house, yelling something. The inspector shook his head and walked away, but not before handing her a warning notice.